Hi, my name is Ganu and I'll talk about Ted Turner. Ted Turner changed the history of the television by creating CNN, the first 24-hour news cable channel. Ted Turner was born on November 19, 1938 in Cincinnati, Ohio to Robert Edward and Florence Turner. Ted had only one sister, Mary Jane, who was 3 years younger than Ted. Ed, using his middle name, ran a billboard business. Ed, his father, sold advertising space on the large signs that were springing up along highways, country roads, and city streets. When Ted was 9, Ed moved his family to Savannah, Georgia, and this move was important to the family because Ed was originally a Southerner and now his entire family was going to live in the South of the United States. This move became an inspiration for Ted later in his life because the television industry was controlled by the North and Ted wanted to show that the South could compete with the North in the television industry and win.
To tell you more, here's senior producer Paul Amos.
The person that watches CNN2 is going to be able to tune in and just in a few minutes' time, not only find out everything that's going on in the world, but will also be transported by television and the magic of
Ted attended McCallie High School and Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. He applied to Harvard University, but Harvard didn't accept his application and he went to Brown. When he was growing up, Ted read books about military heroes such as Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan. He wrote poetry about war and conquest and enjoyed sailing and yachting. His competitive spirit was strong during his first year at Brown. Ted won every sailboat race in which crews from other colleges competed. During his sophomore year, Ted got in trouble for taking part in a drinking party at a dormitory room at Wheaton College, so he was suspended from Brown for 6 months. After his suspension was over, it was time to choose his major. Since he liked reading ancient myths and legends, Ted chose to major in classics. This major was studying ancient Greek and Roman literature. But because of his father's angry letter, Ted changed his major from classics to economics. In fact, Ted never graduated from Brown, and after he left from Brown, he went to work for his father's billboard business. Meanwhile, his sister, Mary Jane, was suffering a terrible illness and at the age of 17, she died. Around the same time, Ted's parents divorced.
Hackle, a veteran foreign correspondent, comes to CNN2 from the Cable News Network. Chuck Roberts brings years of anchor experience to CNN2 from across the nation. Denise LeClaire from Cable News Network has also anchored the news in Nashville and Providence. Peter Ford from Australia's 7 Network brings international news credentials to CNN2. Sasha Fu from Cable News Network has news experience in Boston, Philadelphia, and Tulsa. Patricia Harvey joins us from WNEM TV in Michigan. Jay Young has anchored the news in Baton Rouge. Bobby Batista joined CNN2 after years of news anchor experience in Raleigh. Rick Brown joined CNN2 from Canada with anchor, reporting, and producing credentials. And Jim Wilkerson from the Cable News Network brings years of anchor experience from Denver and Atlanta.
Ted made his name popular in yachting. He won the Southern Ocean Racing Circuit in 1966 and 1970 and won the America's Cup in 1977. In 1979, Ted competed in the Fastnet race off the coast of Ireland. However, at the time, a huge storm was threatening the yachts too. Also, Ted and his vessel was missing. Suddenly, on the monitor, his boat appeared. He was exhausted but alive. Even though 15 yachtsmen had died in the storm, Ted had survived because he had told his crew to keep sailing at full speed. Not only did Ted survive the race, but one went on to later win the race. Then Ted began to his next lifelong project, CNN. Cable News Network was a station that allows people to watch news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Starting CNN was a demanding challenge. In 1980, CNN reached only 1.7 million homes, but in 1990, CNN reached 56.5 million homes in more than 90 countries. CNN became popular at that time because Ted hired one of the most respected newsmen in America, Reese Schonfeld. Schonfeld hired lots of helpful people to work at CNN. In 1989, CNN witnessed a dramatic event that took place in China. In Beijing, China, thousands of students rallied to call for democratic reforms against the Chinese government. In a California newspaper, it reported that CNN made a historic piece of television. Quote, "It's difficult to imagine that anything will ever surpass it." In addition to this event, CNN received high praise for its coverage in president elections and conventions in 1980, 1984, and 1988. Beyond CNN, Ted Turner purchased the MGM Entertainment Company. By paying $1.6 billion, Ted became the owner of MGM Entertainment, a television production company, a video distribution business, and real estate located in Hollywood. In 1988, Ted Turner also launched another cable station, TNT, which stands for Turner Network Television. One object in his office is a plaque with Ted's favorite motto, "Lead, follow, or get out of the way." For Ted, at first, he had to follow in his father's footsteps, but Ted, unlike his father, he became a success by leading the country into a cable revolution.
I'm glad all of you in the 20 million cable preview homes could join us for this exciting moment in the history of communications. In a world of conflict and change, America deserves and demands a second news network. And in a few moments, we'll share together the birth of cable television's new era. I'd also like to personally remind you that if you don't have CNN2 on your cable system and are watching this special preview on the Superstation or the Cable News Network, I urge you to contact your cable operator and tell them you want to have a choice for 24-hour television news.